Hi, I'm Greg, and this is Bed of the Den. It's Monday. Hi everyone, welcome to another week here on the Den. So this weekend, we went camping, and so I filmed something earlier this week as I was doing an adjustment on my Libre, because I get a lot of questions about it.
That, and we couldn't film where we were camping because nudity.
That's true. But we won't talk about that.
Yeah. We'll leave it to everyone's imagination.
Imagination.
Yeah.
And for those viewers that we might have run into at the campground, don't spoil the imagination for everyone else. Hi, everyone. Look who it is.
It's Greg.
It's Greg.
Filmed by Derek.
I'm Derek behind the camera. And we're going to have some Steve help.
Steam help.
Steamed hams.
Steamed hams.
Anyway, I'm here today to talk about this old thing on my arm because I get a lot of questions about it because it shows up in my pictures and stuff. So for those of you who are not familiar with it, it is called a Libre sensor. So what it is it is for predominantly type 2 diabetics for measuring your blood sugars. So it's a neat little thing. So for those of you who are diabetic and hate finger pricks, this is the thing for you. So as anyone who's done the finger pricks knows, you're probably not testing your blood sugars as much as you're really supposed to, because who wants to prick your fingers 20 times a day? This eliminates that, which is kind of cool. So how it works is it's got an NFC in it, like your phone has, and there's two ways that it works. So there's an actual monitor like you would normally get with your strips that can read off of NFC. Also, there's an app you can download to your phone, which is how I do it, and you just press it up against, and you can see your blood sugar at any time, which I think is great because, since I've had it, I test my blood sugars probably 50 times a day, which is really nice, and it keeps a running graph of your blood sugars as long as you test it at least once every, I believe it's 6 hours. It's pretty awesome. It keeps a running tally of your blood sugars, keeps like a 90-day, 180-day, and it keeps track of what your A1C is. So the advantage for me personally is I started using it back in January by my nurse practitioner suggested it because I wasn't testing my blood sugars. And now to start, I've been a diabetic since I was 32, which diabetes runs heavily in my family, and the men in their early 30s just end up getting diabetes, and I didn't take care of myself, so of course I fell under that umbrella as well. So when I started going in January, my A1C when I started was 11.4, which those of you diabetic know that's not very good. So most recently, I had a call with my nurse practitioner about 3 weeks ago, and I've gotten it down to 8.1 from January, which is, I still need to come down a little bit, but that's way, way closer to range. So this is how much it's improved. And for me personally, just having this on me all the time always keeps me mindful of my blood sugars, whereas before I would just take my finger prick and, eat something and not really think about my blood sugars. So this is always a constant monitor that I have to be mindful of my blood sugars. So tonight is actually replacement night. So I probably should go into that. So these sensors, they last 14 days. One sensor lasts 14 days. So I told you about all the benefits of it. Now I will say the drawbacks are that the price is probably going to turn a lot of people off, especially if you don't have a health plan. So for me, I have 80% coverage in a health plan, and they cost me about $10 a sensor. So it's not too bad. For me, it's worth it not to have to do the finger pricks for $20 a month. But if you didn't have a health plan, doing the math, they would be quite expensive per sensor. Also, I didn't have a problem in the winter or the spring, but now that it's summertime and it's been really humid, I've been having an issue with the sensors sticking a little bit. I talked to Libre themselves, and they mentioned that it could be that the climate in the pharmacy isn't being controlled well, or just flat out that I'm just too hot when we're putting it on, and you know, it's me. Of course, I'm too
You're
hot.
warm-blooded.
Of course, I'm too hot.
Too hot for
Too
the camera.
So anyway, but those would be the drawbacks. Now, me and Steve have been using something called skin tack to add an extra layer of stickiness to it when I put the sensor on, to try to help to combat that. So that has been doing a good job. And also, I find sometimes I'll also put like an adhesive bandage over it to help hold it into place, which is not bad either. But either of those options seem to help. And for me, it still outweighs having to do the finger pricks, because I really hate those. I actually had to do those a few weeks ago because I had to wait between a couple of sensors, and I hated it. Even for the 2 days I had to do it, I'm like, ugh. But anyway, so today is actually sensor changing day. So I'm gonna actually show you the removal of the old sensor, and then me and Steve are going to install the new sensor on my other arm. All right, so this is actually how it works. So you'll see that, I know, it's a little high right now because I had supper, but you can see that there's a...
Did you have cookies for supper?
But if you look at it, you can see that it has a running graph, and you can see that it was good before supper and it spiked a little bit, which is normal after supper, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But that's how the sensor works. Now, the old one, this might be a little sticky because we put the sticky stuff on, but you'll see in a minute. Oh, it's not too bad. And you can see this is what the back of the sensor looks like, and that's the little probe that goes inside of you that keeps track of your blood sugars.
So you can have a needle for a split second, or a needle in you the entire time.
Exactly. And I mean, really, it doesn't even really hurt all that much when it's being done. So this is what the boxes look like. Ooh, Libre sensor. Probably should put that.
What, you don't want to see the half-eaten bowl of salsa?
Well, not while I'm trying to change my sensors. So this is what comes inside of a box. Ooh, an unboxing. It's an unboxing video.
Also, hi, I'm here now.
So this is...
It's Steve.
So this is the injector. I guess that's the word term. This is the actual sensor itself in that. And everyone comes with 2 alcohol swabs, one to basically clean up your old spot, and one to clean the spot that you're going to use for the new one. So Steve is going to assist with that.
I'm the medical technician.
He's come to help me with this, which is great.
I'm going to get to the other side here.
Now,
Step 1 is the boring old sterilization.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We're just going to kill all the germs that live on his skin so that they don't get trapped underneath and cause an infection.
Exactly.
Which has happened before.
Yes.
And then I'm just going to spend some time cleaning off.
Because we gotta wait for this to dry anyway.
Let the alcohol dry. Alright, getting there. Yeah. Whoop.
Cool.
Man, she's sticky today.
Yeah, it's because we put the skin tack on, right?
Woo.
The skin tack is some sticky shit.
It is quite sticky indeed.
And we will be using that on this arm as well.
Oh, it's coming off.
Okay.
You're gonna be a sticky man.
Yeah, once I get in the shower, there'll be one. But you can see that's where the old spa was. You can see it's a little red, but that goes away relatively quickly.
Alright, blow on it. All evaporated.
And now the skin tack.
This one looks like an alcohol swab, but it's not. It's like special glue for your skin.
And you basically want to try to touch this with your
You
fingers.
should load the applicator first.
Oh yes, absolutely. So let's load the applicator so I can show you this. So you take the thing off the top. That's the technical term, the thing.
Definitely a scientific term.
This comes this comes off. So this is going to be the injector. So you just have to line up this lip with this line. So this, and once it lines up, as you can see, the sensor is now loaded. So we're gonna leave that for a second because he's now gonna use the skin tack on me. So as I was saying about the skin tack, if you're using this, make sure you try to touch with your fingers as little as possible because it is super, super sticky. So you don't want to be manhandling the swab. Okay, so I think we're ready.
You want me to line it up for you where I put the
Yeah,
needle on?
he's gonna line it up and then I'm gonna push it in.
Go for it.
Bam!
Alexis Mateo. Bam!
Now I always do this, push it around a little bit to make sure it sticks in all spots before I take it off. And with any luck, what was that?
Something came out.
Oh, it just looks like part of the applicator. But, as you can see, it's sticking to my skin. Now, one other thing I'll mention, because it's happened to me before. If you start to get a little blood coming out from the top or from the sides, it's not the end of the world. It sometimes will look bad, because one time I remember we did this and I started bleeding from this, the top of the sensor. But really, it's as long as the bleeding stops, you get nothing to worry about it. And so it's so far so good. It's actually looks like it's sticking really, really well, actually.
Good.
Compared to the last couple of sensors. So what I do is I now go back to my app and I will scan the new sensor. It will give me a message stating that there is a new sensor found. And I gotta scan it again. This should. Now I've got a message stating it'll take 60 minutes. So the sensor takes 60 minutes to get used to your body, and then I should start getting readings within an hour.
Yay!
Just like that. And now I don't have to do it. Shouldn't have to do it again for 2 weeks. Just like that. So that's so much easier than the finger pricks.
As we learned.
Yes, I hated the finger pricks. I hated them. But yeah, that's all there is to it. Now you just dispose of this into a sharps container and you're good to go. All right, everyone. I know that wasn't like hilarious Greg, Steve, and Derek, but I promise they will be back next week.
Well, I'm behind the camera and Steve's right here.
So.
Oh God. There will be one comment in there. Ooh, who's that hot bear at the end? You know
Wish
that
I could have
laugh.
seen him at the camp.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you for tuning in. Tune in the rest of the week to see the other guys' videos, and have yourselves a wonderful week.